Hello and welcome back to Journey with Rebecca. My name is Rebecca and today I am making onion powder. So much like I did with the celery that I saved a while back that was just going to end up in a landfill, I brought it home and I made celery salt from it. I'm going to do the same thing today with onions. The only difference being that these were actually going to end up in a compost, not end the landfill, but I thought before they get to the compost stage, I'm going to use what I can from them and turn them into onion powder. I'm just going to dehydrate them. Never seen red onion powder before, but I figured why not? I have all of these onions. So I got these from work. These were destined for the compost pile. They have like big cut marks in them and just weren't suitable to provide to our customers, so they were going to go into the compost bin, which I love that they were going in the compost and not just the garbage. But I thought, why don't I bring them home, clean them up, take off the pieces that are gross, and then dehydrate the rest and make a powder out of them. So some of them look pretty rough, I will admit. They've been sitting in a bag in my garage for at least a week plus. Some of them are very just moldy and don't look good. But hopefully what's on the inside is still okay and I can salvage what's left of these and make good use of them before I do put the rest of the contents into the compost bin. I got to work on peeling off the skins from the onions and I was really pleased to see that a majority of them looked really good on the inside. It was just that outer layer that needed to be peeled off. There was some cutting of the onions that I needed to do to actually get some of the slices that had been cut into them taken off. But for the most part, these were in really good shape and I was really happy with how they looked. All of the onions are peeled and gotten rid of all the yucky stuff, and then I just rinsed everything off because some of them were a little bit moldy and I just didn't want to introduce any of that into the onion powder that I'm making. So some of these look really good. They're like perfect little beautiful red onions. I don't know if you can hear the rain behind me, but it's getting loud. So I apologize if you can hear that. But some of these are just, they don't look great. So I need to cut this off before I get it ready to actually go into the dehydrator because I don't want to have any of this yucky stuff in my actual dehydrated onion powder. So I'm just going to get all of this cut off now and then we can get it in the dehydrator. Okay, I've never dehydrated onions before, so I was trying to come up with the best method of what I wanted to do to get them ready to actually go in the dehydrator. Should I use a mandolin? Should I chop them by hand? Should I use this contraption? I think I've landed on this contraption. This was my grandmother's and it's really simple and easy to use. So all you do is you put your onion in here. I would probably cut it in half or use a smaller onion. And then it has this like thing on the top here and you just put it on and push it down and it slices your onions for you. And it's all contained right in this container here. And it slices them nice and thin and uniform. So I think I'm just going to use this to just chop them up really quick. I won't have to worry about the mandolin. Everything will be right in here and then I can just transfer it right over into my dehydrator. Red onions are typically more mild in flavor, which is why they are sometimes preferred to be used in salads, salsas, and other raw dishes. They're typically sweeter than white and yellow onions. Red onions are a really good source of essential nutrients, including vitamin C, fiber, and folate, and they are also high in antioxidants, which may help contribute to heart health. You do not have to blanch your onions before you process them for the dehydrator, but if you do, it will help cut down on the odor that the onions give off while they are in the dehydrator. I didn't do that this time, but I definitely think I will in the future. It was a very potent smell while these were dehydrating. I ended up having enough that I needed to do 2 batches of these, so I ended up putting the dehydrator in the garage for the second batch to try to cut back on the smell in the house. I dehydrated the onions for about 12 hours on 135 degrees and I ended up with a pretty good amount of them, so much so that I'm going to save some for soups, and then I'm going to make onion powder out of the rest of them. This onion powder turned out so beautiful. I'm just going to pour it in this container here. This is typically what I put my salves or like my sugar scrubs in. And I think I need a funnel because I think it's going to be messy. I need to work on getting some more containers for spices, especially if I'm going to continue making things like this. This is beautiful. I've never seen anyone make onion powder out of red onions before. And I absolutely love the way that it turned out. It's so pretty. So that's it. Put a cap on it and you're done. I also have these that I'm going to save for soup season. They are dried, but I am considering just vacuum sealing them because I don't want them to go bad. But in the meantime, I'm just going to put them in a dark cupboard like in the back and try not to forget about them for when soup season does come. Or if we happen to get any cooler days, I can use these for that. But this was such a great way to make use of food that was going to go bad. And I'm really excited because these were really beautiful onions. I also brought home some apricots. And I never say apricot the same way. Is it apricot or is it apricot? I don't know. I brought home some of those and I dried them. Let me show you. Hold on. All right, so this is what they look like. I just cut them up into like kind of small-ish pieces and I threw them in my dehydrator. The only problem is they're really sour. Like they aren't sour when you just eat one, but I don't know. I've never dehydrated these before. I don't know the process. If you're supposed to do something with them ahead of time, I have no idea. I just threw them in the dehydrator because I didn't want them to go to waste because they weren't perfect enough for even seconds. They were going to go in the compost bin, so I brought them home and used them. I'm thinking about like making like a simple syrup and coating these with that and then sprinkling sugar on it and kind of making like a Sour Patch Kid like gummy type fruit thing because that sounds really good. These are just really, they like make you pucker. They're too sour to eat on their own, but I'm just really glad I have the opportunity to take foods that otherwise wouldn't have been used, that still have some life left in them and make good use of them, like this onion powder and these dehydrated onions. So there's definitely going to be more content like this because I have a lot of produce at my disposal. If you could see the counter behind me, there's so many zucchini and cucumber that I need to use and summer squash that was destined for compost, but I brought it home to use it instead. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video and found some value in it. And if you did, please be sure to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, and I will see you soon. I'm just taking the onion